Hi everyone, we're a CHHL Corp team, and we're here to present the TRIDENT Match Portal, a cloud-based platform that connects nonprofits with the researchers and evaluators they need to measure their impact. I'm Natez Sullivan, and with me is Cayden, Danny, and Kenneth. Over the next 12 to 15 minutes, we'll walk you through our client and a problem we set out to solve, the key requirements that shape the build, the architecture, and text behind our solution, role-specific demos of what we shipped and what we learned along the way. A quick word on our client. We built this for the Trident Institute. The acronym stands for Transformative Research in Data, Evaluation, and Nonprofit Transparency. Trident focuses on strengthening transparency and impact in the social sector. They support small, under-resourced nonprofits, build evaluation capacity in Northeast Florida, and facilitate research practice partnerships through open access data and tools. Their mission is straightforward: improve equitable access to research and evaluation services for nonprofits that otherwise couldn't afford them. The portal we built serves three groups: nonprofits looking for help, researchers and evaluators offering expertise, and Trident admins keeping the platform compliant. Here's the problem we set out to solve. Smaller nonprofits, especially in North Florida, are priced out of high quality evaluation services. They can't measure their outcomes, they can't communicate impact to funders, and on the other side, researchers, graduate students, and contractors have a hard time finding applied projects to match their skills. There's no streamlined channel between supply and demand. The Trident opportunity identified was to build a free to low cost matching platform, connect the two sides based on shared interests, expertise, and methods, increase equitable access to evaluation, and give Trident visibility into common evaluation needs across the region. And then from the requirements gathering, we identified six high priority mandatory capabilities. These were our high risk must have items. First, user accounts with secure registration and role-based access for nonprofits, researchers, and admins. Second, project briefs that nonprofits can publish and manage. Third, public browsing so researchers can browse and discover those briefs without needing an account. Fourth, milestone tracking with a real status workflow and overdue detection. Fifth, an admin dashboard for oversight and compliance. And sixth, notifications and email through SMTP. Our MVP acceptance criteria was the full end-to-end flow. A nonprofit signs up, posts a brief, a researcher discovers it, and an admin can approve and oversee it. If that worked, we had a product. We translated those requirements into user stories grouped by role. For nonprofits, they want to create an organization profile so researchers can verify them, publish product briefs with budget and outcomes, and track milestones so they know where every project stands. For researchers, they want to build a profile of their expertise and methods so they're matched fairly. Browse and filter open briefs to find work and control their notification preferences so they're only paged when it matters. For admins, they want a dashboard of users and projects. The ability to approve or suspend or even soft delete users and statistics so they can spot risk early. These 9 stories drove our sprint planning and our acceptance criteria for every feature. Here's a full use case picture. On the delivered side, you have use case 1, authentication, use case 3, public browsing, milestone tracking, account settings, project briefs, and the dashboard for admins, all complete, integrated, and tested. On the plan side, we fully scoped out the use case for messaging, reviews, and use case 8 and for matching. Use case 11 is going to be the agreements, and then use case 12 is going to be the admin SLA monitoring, including the secure file uploads. For each plan use case, we documented epics, stories, acceptance criterias, API specs, and data model changes in our Jira backlog. The next team can pick up exactly where we left off without losing context. Here's the actual UML use case diagrams from our team's use case outlines deliverables. One per primary actor. At the top left is going to be that researcher. They view the project listings, apply the projects, manage their submitted applications, and withdraw applications when needed. Top right is going to be that nonprofit staff member. They create a project brief where that is the main entry point for the demand side of the platform. Bottom left is going to be the admin where they approve the new project coming off nonprofit submission. This is the moderation gate that keeps the catalog quality high. Bottom right is going to be the researcher and nonprofit user. Both actors share the messaging use case so they can collaborate on active products and projects. Across the four diagrams, each primary actor is represented and the highest risk user use case, apply, create, brief, approve, message are explicitly modeled. I'll hand it off to the rest of the team to walk through how we built it.
We used a Scrum in the Rational Unified Process, or RUP, which is the four-phase macro structure, which includes inception, elaboration, construction, and transition. Now, inside of construction, we ran 2 week Scrum sprints, and we held our backlogs in Jira per our use case. And at the end, we always met up with our mentors from SpinSpire.
The TRIDENT platform was architected as a three-tier architecture, which means we have separated concerns between our client server and data tier, which are the user interaction or logic lives in the server tier, and everything related to our database and third-party services as our email service, for example, live in the data tier.
Here's our sequence diagram for a researcher applying to a project. The request goes through authentication using JOT, then the controller checks permissions with RBAC. After validation, the application is stored using Sequelize, and both notifications and email services are triggered. This ensures security, data integrity, and user awareness at every step. Our tech stack is split across front end, back end, and infrastructure. On the front end, we use React 18 with Vite, React Router, and Bootstrap. The back end is built with Node and Express using JOT authentication and RBAC middleware for security. We use Sequelize with migrations and soft delete support to manage our PostgreSQL database hosted on Neon. For email, we integrated Node Mailer with SMTP. The app is deployed on Vercel, tested with Jest, and tracked using Jira mapped to our use cases.
Alright, and I'm just going to do a quick demo of the nonprofit dashboard and its role in itself. So right now you currently see the nonprofit dashboard where you have your project briefs, you can see your matches, your applications, you can also browse for researchers as well, look at those agreements, and then the ratings as well that you may receive for those projects or that nonprofit. Here you can create that project brief, as you see that there already is one created, and in that project you'll have milestones. So you'll see that you can create your first milestone. I'm just going to create complete resume. You can put a description, due date, status. Um, let's just say a progress, and depends on whatever it may be. You can also change that status if you'd like. If you want to put it as pending or completed, you can do that as well. Or you can even delete it if you like. And then what you can also do is throw in some files if you need to add like some documents or documentation for that milestone or for that project. You can do that as well. You can also delete the project as well if needed. Here you can look and see these researchers in here, and you can go based off of the matches if you'd like. It is completely up to you if you want to invite them to your project, invite them to the project. I'm just going to send an invitation right here, and that researcher is going to get it. And that pretty much covers it for the most part when it comes to the nonprofit use case.
Hi, I'm Cayden. I will be presenting the research side for the Trident application. So first, when you first load up, you can actually see Browse Active Briefs, which shows all the research opportunities. And if you're looking at a specific one, you can search and view the full details, which will allow you to save for later or express interest at that moment. And when you go to the research dashboard, you can see all the researchers' information right here, along with the academic background and certification background. You will also be able to see your current participation in projects and which ones have been completed. The invitations tab will show you what nonprofits have invited you to a project as well. You can have agreements with them as well, which you can actually download. And if you'd like to search projects doing this way, you can actually match your minimum score as well, which will eliminate some projects. And once all said and done, you can actually view your ratings by the nonprofits in this tab right here.
The system administrator dashboard has many attributes to it, many sections, and those are classified in two main areas. The first one is for soft management, which means all the tabs that has information but not many action in them. And what I mean with this is, in here, for example, in the overview tab, we can see that it has information about the platform, how many entities are present in it, some of the reminders like that we have pending approvals, and we have suspended accounts as admins, but it doesn't have any actions. The second one would be the project section, where we have information about the projects and some actions, but not very a huge impact unless you are deleting them. Two of the actions that we have here are details, when we can get extra information about the project itself, the organization, the requirements, and everything that it's part of this project. And also we can change the status of the project to help these organizations manage their projects. A second view for this tab would be the Kanban board. So in case an admin is in charge only for approving pending reviews, then it can come and find them really easily in this column right here. Another one of the same kind would be the milestones, where again it's pretty similar. We have all the information in a deletion button. Same thing with organizations when we have details for more information, and also we have a hit delete button. The second area is the hard management, where the admin actually comes in place and can manage the entities in the platform. For example, for the users, we can get their details and either suspend them, like in here, or we can unsuspend them depending on their behavior. If they created an environment that was outside of the regulations and policies of the platform, we have the power to restrict their activity. Same thing with the pending review tab, where we can approve, ask for changes, reject pending reviews that are not going to be submitted to the public if not with an approval of an admin. Another tab for this area is the attachments, where all the files are scanned and proofed before they are used, and we can force delete and we find any error with them. This impacts directly the workflow of the agreements between nonprofits and researchers, because all their agreements are based on documents that needs to be signed for both parts. Then it comes to reviews, where we can see all the reviews that the different entities have made, and we can flag them if we think they're like their language is too violent, or they're saying something that is not according to the regulations that we want to see enforced. So we can flag them, they can edit them, and we will restore them, or we will definitely remove them if we think they're not, they shouldn't be present in our platform. And the last one would be not in any of the hard or soft management, but more of a taking action, which is the alerts, where it's going to tell us which projects are at risk for any areas that are not being managed properly, if we have any approaching deadlines, or if we have overdue milestones. This way we can reach out to these organizations and make sure that they can manage their projects properly. The last feature that I want to share is that we have a super admin role, and it's the one that I'm using right now. That means that I can create another admins. This process skips completely the email verification. It's direct add to our database. And the main difference is that the super admin can manage other admins as well, as you can see here. But the admins on the lower level, which would be this Denny here, don't have access to this button. So that way, the owner of the platform can have many helpers that to manage the whole platform in a proper way.
The messaging system is really simple. You create a thread with someone, you send a message, logged in as that recipient, they get a notification, it is clickable, and the chat gets pulled up. Logged in as the admin, I'm able to review this message in the chat logs.
Wrapping up, the value added to the client. First, equitable access. Nonprofits had trouble finding valuers before, and now it is free to them. The second is operational lift. Admins have more time to focus on oversight rather than coordination. Third, audit and compliance. Soft deletion, role based access, and activity give Trident a defensible record for every change on the platform. And fourth, this, of course, just gives them room to grow as a company.
One of our biggest takeaways was starting with the simplest solution instead of over-engineering. A rule-based design worked well, and combining RUP with Scrum gave us both structure and flexibility. Soft deletes and migrations helped maintain data integrity, while testing and frequent deployments helped us catch issues early and iterate quickly. On behalf of our team, we'd like to thank our client, the Trident Institute, our mentors at SpinSpire, and Professor Umapathy for their guidance and support throughout this project. Thank you.